Hey folks, thanks for joining me today. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be doing a really cute and fun dragonfly. Now I'm going to do another dragonfly on a natural stone, but I thought in the meantime, let's do something fun and play with some colors. So this little dragonfly is done on a small oval stone that I created from the molds that I purchased from the Happy Dotting Company. And if you want to get your own molds, there is a link in my description below. And make sure you click on it and head on over to the Happy Dotting Company. Angela will take really good care of you. And her molds are absolutely amazing. I've had some now for, I'm going to say about 8 years. And they're still working just as well as they did the first time that I used them. So they're long lasting as long as you keep them clean and store them in a nice dry area that's out of the sunlight. I find that these molds are like second to none. They're amazing. So head on over, get your own molds if you wish. If not, you can do this on a natural stone. You can do this on wood, canvas, whatever you choose to paint this little guy on. You can do this on anything. So I painted the rock black as my base coat. And now because I'm using some lighter colors that need to be really bright, I am painting the dragonfly with a white base. And you saw me sketch that on with my General's charcoal pencil. They come in white, which is what I use the most. But I also have a gray charcoal pencil, which works really good if you're working on a white background or a light background. So you do have that option as well. But you don't need to use that. You can use watercolor pencils. You can use just regular pencil, whatever you have on hand or whatever you're comfortable with using. I just like using the General's charcoal pencil because it wipes off so easy with a damp cloth afterwards, all the little pieces that I didn't paint over. So there is that benefit to it as well. If you use a pencil, then all you have to do is let your paint dry and you can erase it and it works just as well. So the colors that I'm using today are all Craft Smart. So I'm using, right now it's called yellow. Not very creative, but that's what it's called. It's yellow. I will also be using Pink Blast and Holiday Green. All are Craft Smart paint brand, and you can get those at your local Michael's store. It's the base coat and the white that I used were from DecoArt, which are my go-tos. That's what I use for all of my black and all of my white, unless I'm doing something specific and I need a different kind. But for the majority of my paintings, this is what I use for my base coats. So now you're seeing that I did a lot of the dragonfly in yellow. And now I'm going in with some holiday green and I'm blending it slightly into the yellow on the wings. I do a little bit on the body as well. Oh, here I go. I'm doing it now. And I made his tail sort of loop around, which is not usually normal for a dragonfly, but this particular dragonfly is not particularly normal. So that's how I get away with doing this this way and being so creative. So you'll notice that I've been a bit messy and I'm painting outside of the lines, but that's totally okay because we're going to go in a little bit later once this is dry and use some black paint and we're going to clean that all up. So I'm not too worried about it being all kind of all over the place because I do fix it later. So now I'm using some of that Pink Blast on the edge of the wings, on the outer edges, and blending it in just slightly into the holiday green. So in order to do this, to get the best effect, do it when it's wet. and you have to work fast. Acrylic paint does dry pretty quickly, especially if you're in a warmer climate. Um, if it's a humid climate, you'll have a little bit more working time, but the best to do it is just rule of thumb, do it while it's wet, and you get a nice blending effect to it. If it does start to lift the paint, so that's when the paint is starting to dry and you're blending, and then it's lifting the paint off, then that's when you know that the paint has started to dry. And my best advice for that is to just stop, go somewhere else, do whatever, or maybe you've got another painting on the go, maybe switch over to the other painting, but let this dry, and then you've got to redo it because you just it once it starts to dry and it starts lifting the paint, you're not going to get the blending effect, and it's just going to look blobby and different colors that or different shades of the color that you really don't want. So just make sure that you do it while it's wet, and if you do notice that it's starting to lift up, just walk away, let it dry, and come back and do it again. You'll still get the same effect. It'll just have to be a little bit longer. So my paint is still wet, and I wanted the tips of the wings to be a little bit more brighter. So I'm just going in with the pure color of the Pink Blast after I've cleaned my brush so that I can get just this bright pink on the edges of the wings. And I'm going to do the edge of his tail as well. And I get a little bit carried away on his tail, and you'll notice that a little bit later, especially when I start to outline, but it turned out just fine. And I'm not too fussy about the color that it's kind of like a muted green or like a minty kind of green. So I do go and fix that up as well. So I'm just adding in some colors, and I'm only using the 3 colors, but I get so many different variations of those colors just by blending. So that's the fun part about acrylic paint. Well, it's not the only fun part, but there's a lot of fun parts with acrylic paint. This being one of them, you can blend them in and then work away with using the pure color, blending it with another color. It's so many fun things you can do with acrylic paint. Just again, like I said before, you got to remember to work quickly because it does dry quickly. But there's always ways around it, right? So I'm just sort of trying to do some shading and to do some blending with the yellow and the green. But again, like I said, the tail gets a little bit carried away and I don't like it, so I go back and I fix it up. But we'll get to that. So I need to apologize for my absence. I know I've been gone for a couple of weeks. Actually, it's been about 3. I do have a full-time job, and it called me away to go out of the province. So I wasn't in Ontario for about 2.5 weeks, but I am back now and getting back into routine and fixing up all of my stuff that was let go sort of in the last couple of weeks, getting back into routine, like I said, getting laundry done, getting back into making meals and, things like that. And most importantly, getting these tutorials out to you guys because I know it's been a while and I've just been so busy that I had these recorded. I just didn't have time to get them posted up. So I thank you very much for your patience and waiting for the next one to come out. I will have the full moon for this part of the full moon series. I will have that one posted the beginning of next week. And I will also and that one is for August. So I will also be posting the one for September. So stay tuned for that. Those are coming out. Just be a little bit more patient as I get them edited and cleaned up for you. So, but do know that they are coming. And again, thank you for your patience. sometimes life gets in the way and sort of throws a monkey wrench into things, but you know, you just roll with it. You just go ahead with it, and things will all work out. So you'll see that, excuse me, sorry. You'll see that I'm cleaning up that tail there. I didn't really like the yellow, so I kind of curved it over, and I will fix up a little bit more of that once I get down to that point again. I'm just letting that part dry a little bit, and then I'm going to work on the wings. Now, these paint brushes that I'm using, I usually use, I have fine lining brushes that I've made. I do have tutorials for those. But these ones I absolutely love. I use them in everything. The bristles on the brush stay together. It gives me a nice fine line, and the less pressure I apply, the finer the line is. So it works really, really awesome. And then you just saw there, I had the paint really loaded so that I could cover a lot of space in a short amount of time and least brush strokes. So it's a really great brush. I bought them on Temu. I'm not sure if you are familiar with Temu, but that's where I did buy them from. I have also found them on Amazon. So if you don't have access to Temu, it's totally okay. You can get them on Amazon. I will see if I can find the link, and I will post it in the description below. If I can't, then I will see what I can do to find something maybe that's a little bit similar, if you're interested. Totally 100% if you're interested. So while I'm painting this, I'm also going to talk about the last video that I posted. I was talking about my Etsy shop, and that my Etsy shop has not been doing so well. And I had asked for you, the viewer, to let me know if you visit my Etsy shop, or if I should close it. I didn't get a lot of response on it. So it is still active. I am going to try to be a little bit more diligent on keeping things up, posted up. And I'm going to try it for just till the end of this year. If it doesn't pick up, then what I'll do is I will close it, and then I will just continue doing this and not worry about the Etsy shop. I'm just letting you guys know what my thoughts are. It's likely the fact that I don't have a lot of time to be able to dedicate to making sure that my Etsy shop is up and running and that things are fresh and up to date. So it's likely just that I just don't have the time dedicated to it to make it so it's always up to date with new stuff. So I'm going to try to do that a little bit more so that I have that available for you guys as well. And I do post things on there that are not on YouTube. So I encourage you to go and check it out. The link is in the description below. Actually, the description to every video has a lot of great information, different links for different tools. For example, the dotting tools that I am using. You can go to the Dotting Center, and she has amazing stuff there. Great tutorials as well on how to do dotted mandalas and things like that with the dotting tools. And she showcases stuff. So another good place to go. Plus I have links to my Instagram and my Facebook. So make sure you drop by on all those. But if you're new here, make sure that you subscribe to the video, or subscribe to my channel actually. And make sure that you ring the bell so it gives you a notification every time I post something new. And give me the thumbs up if you like this video. That way I know that you do like it and I can create more. So I've been dotting away on this little stone here, and I'm using a dotting tool that I am loading the paint on it, putting a dot down, and then continuing to dot all over the place. And I'm using, like I said, the 3 different colors from Craftsmart. So this gives me not only some decoration with the same colors, but it gives me different variations of sizes of dots. So I don't reload my paint, and I dot, like my first dot has like all of the paint on it, so it gives it the largest dot. And then I dot like 2 or 3 more times around the stone so that I get different sizes. And I do that with all 3 colors. Now what I'm doing is I am using one of my really small dotting tools. It's almost like a dotting needle, but it does have a ball at the end. And I'm making little swirls, and I'm doing that, filling in any of the bigger black spaces. And I'm doing that in all 3 colors as well. So not only am I having dots all over the place in the 3 colors, but I'm also doing these little swirls. They almost look like apostrophes that I've been using all over the place just to fill in those little extra spaces. And I'm trying to be as random as possible. And I'm telling you, folks, it's sometimes very hard when I'm a pattern-based person and I'm trying to do things random. It's really extremely hard. Let me know in the comments if you have an issue with that as well. Like if you find trying to be random is really hard in your painting. For me it is, and sometimes I get a little bit overboard and I end up with something that turns out really, really pretty, but I can see the patterns in them. Now, maybe someone else doesn't see the patterns, but every time I look at it, I can see a pattern. So just let me know if I'm the only one with this weird oddity or if other people share it with me. So I finish up doing all of these dots and making it look really good. I let it dry for 24 hours and then I give it a coat of resin. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it. So get creative.